Welcome to the Sure Shot, Week 3 of the 2023 NFL season. I am your host, the agent, joined as always by the legend, Gary Clark, the disruptor. I'm going to get that name right before we end this season. Lois Cook, she's a disruptor, you can see. And the professor, Mark Gray. We're here to talk to you about what you'd like to place as your bets for this upcoming week, a little bit about what happened last week. Put it all together and you may get yourself a winning ticket, as I did. And in celebration of that winning ticket, everybody here gets a pair of Coach Primes, and you can join in on the fun too. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. But we're going to start with the legend. From week 2, what jumped out at you last week? Any surprises, any shocks, and was there anything that you saw coming?
I didn't see the Cowboys doing that to the Jets, obviously. That was my one loss for that weekend. I apologize to everybody for doing that. I apologize. I'm staying away from the Cowboys probably the next 5 weeks. But this week, though, take the Vikings over the Chargers.
You got the Vikings over the Chargers?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, the legend jumping right in it. Vikings over the Chargers.
I'm getting 1.5. I'll take that.
Okay, so that would get the Chargers, and I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to bring it up. You got the Chargers, an AFC contender, starting the season 0-3.
Can we pump the brakes on this Chargers, this contender stuff? When do we just stop getting off this program that the Bills and the Chargers are teams to beat? How about this? When the money's on the line, the Bills and the Chargers are teams who get beat. That's what happens. I mean, I had enough of this Justin Gilbert and Josh Allen nonsense. The next time those two dudes win a game, a big game, it'll be there first. Pump the brakes on both of them. They're fool's gold.
That was just hurtful. But that's the professor. His opinion on those Chargers. They starting off 0-3. You just may be right. Lois, let's get to you for your Week 3 Game 1 pick. Who do you like?
Oh, it's interesting that you just talked about the Chargers because I'm going with the 49ers, who just whooped up on the Chargers. 49ers over the Giants. I mean, it's the Giants, but the 49ers have obviously proven that they are dominating in this league offensively and defensively and, of course, special teams. So I think that they're on a high right now, and they're going to keep riding it.
Well, the 49ers are really good, but are they 10 points better than the Giants?
The Giants.
The Giants.
Excuse me, Mark, New York. But, yes, the Giants. They're going to take, I think they're going to beat them a little bit.
About 10 points.
Greater than 10 points.
Or more than 10 points.
Yeah. I'll give them the 10.
Okay, you're going to roll with that 10. And I'll tell you what, New York had a great comeback last week against Arizona. But going back to San Francisco, 2 back-to-back West Coast trips, good wearing them. Might be a good pick.
Do we know that they're not staying out there on the west side for the week?
I do not. I do not.
Okay, see, so that could mitigate that, you know.
Who you got for Week 1, Professor?
Oh, man, can't miss. I got to go with the Lions to take down the Falcons, especially at the house. Desmond Ridder has a long way to go to me till he can prove that he can run an NFL offense. And then the Lions, the first couple of weeks, and this will probably jinx them, looks like a team that is not only good enough to win their division, they're good enough to play on the last weekend in the second weekend in January or whatever, in order to make the Super Bowl. Now, again, this is Detroit. You know, we've seen this act before. God bless Billy Sims and Barry Sanders. But this is a different Detroit, man. This ain't Mama's Detroit. I like the Lions, and I like the Lions big over the Falcons at the crib.
I'm going to tell you what. It was the same Detroit last week when they lost to Seattle at home. But I digress. I'm going to give you my Week 1 pick, and I'm going to go with those Tennessee Titans. The only loss I had last week was the Titans at home against the Chargers. They took care of business in overtime. I think they're going to take care of business in Cleveland this week. They're getting 3.5 points. No Mr. Chubb in that backfield. Cleveland's in a bit of disarray, and perhaps Deshaun Watson may have been paid a little bit too much money and given too long of a contract guarantee. I'm saying take the Titans to get that win with the 3.5 points. Money line or spread. All right, back to the legend. Game 2. Who you got and why?
Game 2. My Game 2, Bucks over the Eagles. Bucks over the Eagles. What you woofing about? What you woofing about?
Looking pretty good.
Who's 2-0?
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying who's 2-0.
They're both 2-0. Now the Eagles
I'm
giving
saying
up
who's 2-0.
5.5.
They go to beat the Eagles. This is not that pick like I did with Dallas last week. They're going to beat them. I'm getting 5.5. They go, yeah, I'll take that.
5.5 at home, and Baker Mayfield's been playing pretty good.
Yes.
Why y'all laughing?
I mean,
He is the legend for a reason.
yes, sir. And he's used to those NFC East matchups. He picks a team in the NFC East. Yo, if it ain't the Cowboys, I'm with you on any team you pick in the NFC East. Cowboys may be a little biased. Lois, pick 2, week 3. Who you got?
I'm going with the Ravens over the Colts. -8.
Yep.
I think the Ravens have looked really strong this year. Jackson looked amazing last game, and it's the 3rd week. They're only going to keep getting better and better. So I got the Ravens. I think Mark Andrews comes back, and I know that Dobbins is, injured right now, but I think that they're going to be a threat with Flowers and Andrews coming back.
Yep, and I will tell you, the Colts looked really good last week, but that was against the Texans. I like the pick of the Ravens. 8 may be a little bit too heavy for me, but hey, Ravens did their job last week.
I think they're gonna keep doing it. They look good. They look like a strong
good.
team.
They look good if they can stay healthy. Professor, who you got? Game 2.
I'm going to take the Dolphins, and I'm going to take the 6.5 that I get early in the week to cover against the Broncos. I just looked at the Broncos, and to me, they just look a little soft in the trenches. I think it's a heat game. It's still going to be pretty warm down there, and that transition from long cross-country trip, altitude, heat and humidity at South Beach, and Russell Wilson looking like a fossil these days. I mean, I keep waiting for him to show up at the Museum of Natural History, stand next to something from the Paleolithic era, because he is not the Russell of years gone by. So
now,
that being said,
wait a minute, sir. He was throwing bombs last week.
Yeah.
At least in the first half.
and a couple of them were picked off too. So let's be clear for a second. They can't run the football either. So to me, I just see a team that plays right into, and Intua is just amazing right now, Chad. So I just like where the Dolphins are right now here early in the season. I don't like where the Broncos are. If we were talking maybe 6 weeks from now, it'd be different. But, I'll take that, and I will take the Dolphins to cover, especially at home.
Okay, so we got the Dolphins -6.5 at home. I think there's some tension between Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, so you may be onto something there. That could be an explosion as we get towards the end of the season. For week 3, pick 2 for me. I'm going to go with the Bears at the Chiefs. And surprise, surprise, I'm not picking a team. We're going to go with the under. Currently, it's set at 49 points. The Chiefs in their first 2 games scored 20 in a loss, 17 in a win, still adjusting to some of the personnel that they're missing, still adjusting to losing their offensive coordinator to the Washington Commanders. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, the Chicago Bears have scored 20 in a loss and 17 in a loss. I don't see that number fluctuating too much with Justin Fields as the quarterback. Take the under in the Bears at the Chiefs. You can get it at 49. That's a solid number. Now, going on to week 3, we go right back to the legend. Who you got, Gary?
Oh, I'm joining the professor. I got Miami over the Broncos. Everything the professor said, I agree with 100%.
Oh, my God. We got to stop the show.
Great minds think alike.
Everything he said, you agree with? You sure you want that on camera?
To my professor. You listen to the professor.
He's a legend. He's a
I
legend
don't
because he
believe it.
listens to the professor.
It's rare I'm speechless. I'm speechless
His name
on
was
that
Joe
one.
Gibbs, though, but,
You can slip me that 75 under the table.
Lois Cook, game 3. Who you got?
All right, game 3. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. Anyway, I'm going to go with Cowboys over the Cardinals. They're playing the Cardinals. I just don't see the Cardinals, shaping up against them. I think the Cardinals are not quite as strong a team. I don't want to give too many kudos to the Cowboys because I'm really not doing that. But anyway, I think the Cowboys are going to take the Cardinals, and I'm going with them. I'm going to go with the money line.
Oh, going with the money line. All right. If you can get the money line on that game, it'd be tough to find. Check your apps, check FanDuel, check DraftKings, check BetMGM. You may still be able to pick up the money line on that game. If you can pick up the money line, That seems like an easy piece.
I mean, I would even go with the under on that too. 43.
43 and a half.
Okay, you
Yep.
changed to the under.
No,
okay.
I'm going with the money line. I'm just saying. I think you might be safe with the under as well.
Okay. You heard Miss Cook.
If you can't find the money line.
I like that. If you can't find the money line, Lois Cook says take the under. Professor, who you got? Game 3.
I got the Ravens at home over the Colts, and I like them by the 8 points. I still haven't figured out where the Colts are going at the quarterback position yet. We don't know about the injury to the rookie, and he's on the road. Baltimore hates Indianapolis. It's going to be a really nasty, mean-spirited crowd there. That might be a little bit overwhelming for a team that has some offensive challenges. I like Baltimore, and we haven't seen the best of Lamar Jackson. I think that this may be a coming-out party of sorts. I think he's familiar with that offense right now. We haven't seen the best of the Ravens. I think we will see if there will be a team barring injury and figuring out a way to run the football and keep guys healthy. I mean, let's be real for a second. Even the team said last year when they were surveyed that the folks who were taking care of them in the training room were the worst in the league. And what happens? First week of the season, they lose their starting running back. So that's the only thing that concerns me with Baltimore in this game. I like Baltimore. I like Baltimore to cover the 8 points and win that game at home.
Strong game 3. My game 3. Jumping on the bandwagon with Lois, but I'm confident enough in that Cowboys defense that I'll lay the 12.5. We're going to take the Cowboys and we're going to go with the spread, lay the 12.5 points. There will be more Cowboy fans in Arizona than there will be Cardinal fans. That's for sure. So this is just another home game. Look for Dallas to cover on their way to make that juggernaut game against the 49ers. I'm taking the Cowboys and I'm going to lay those 12.5 points. Get that bet in early if you want, because I suspect that number's going to go up as the money comes in on the Cowboys. So look for that one early. Now, guys, the moment everybody has been waiting for. But before we get to the sure shots, I will say this. Everybody here at this table gets a pair of these Prime sunglasses. Thanks to my win. When I win, you guys all win. But you can win too at home. The first person to like, subscribe for this week, and show us proof of that with a screenshot, you're going to get a pair too. You want your primes? You can have them. You just got to be the first. On to the sure shot.
We're praying for you, bro.
You
cheap
got it.
Shot. It was a cheap shot.
Cheap shot, and a shout out to Coach Prime.
It ended up with a lacerated kidney. The kid that hit him from Colorado State, he should be out as long as Hunter's out.
Well,
that's just me.
Coach Prime said he forgives him. I'm going to forgive him too for now. Before we go into the sure shot, I want to thank our host, Tom's Watch Bar. Tom is at 7 locations. One will be near you soon as they will grow to 70. If you want to eat, you want to watch your sports, you want to get a cold one, you want to have some great wings, you want to have some great food, there's no better place to watch the game than Tom's Watch Bar from 7 to 70, and you're going to find one near you. On to the sure shot. This is what you've been waiting for, and we're going to start with the legend. Who you got? And tell us.
I got? Y'all know who I got. Y'all know who I got. I got Commanders over the Bills. I'll take that 6.5. But the Commanders, their defense is playing strong right now. Josh is playing okay. He's playing okay, but he hasn't seen the defense like this yet this year. He thought the Jets were bad. Wait till you see the Commanders' defense. And I love our offense. I do. I love where it's heading. I love where it's going. You know, you put up those types of points in the second half, lets you know where they're trailing to go. They're going to get it done. Trust me. You gonna go with me on this again?
Look, I was in the air. I'm going with you on this one. The Commanders have it as the short shot. Have you seen B-Rob run that ball? Okay, but they are a threat in the air, a threat on the ground, and like you were saying, they're only getting better. 20 points the first week. 35 points the second week. If that hasn't told you anything, and with Hal back there, I feel like he's just getting better and better. I mean, obviously he's young in the game with this team, but he's killing it right now.
Right, and so the Commanders will have a sizable home field advantage this week. One of the first times they're going to sell out again. Crowd's getting back into it with new ownership. I think it's a good pick. Commanders, I know you were going to pick the Commanders. Lois, I think that's why y'all at the table together. It's just going to be Commanders every week.
It might be. I don't know. I was really looking at the 49ers as well, though, because, again, they're playing the Giants. But no offense. But I got to go with the Commanders. I just feel it. And like you just said, and home field and the momentum, the energy is everything to me. You will hear me say that week in and week out, but the energy in that 12th man is a real thing.
And they're going for the trifecta. Anytime you go for that trifecta, it's special to players in sports. You want to win 3 in a row. If you can win 3 in a row, you know you're going to win the next 2.
There you go. And it's been a minute since the Commanders have been on a roll like this, so the town's getting excited. Professor, who do you got for the sure shot?
Well, these primes are definitely going to take the shine off of my sure shot because my esteemed colleague stole my thunder. I love 6.5 at home for the Commanders against a Bills team that I think is moving towards the realm of fraudulent. I mean, I just don't buy them any longer. I'm sorry. We've seen it for the last 3 years. We've seen clutch moments that Josh Allen just doesn't measure up to. I don't trust the defense. Washington runs the football. They can control the clock. They got enough playmakers on the outside. And they're at home with the momentum that you guys have spoken about from the energy at FedEx Field, which is back. I love Washington. 6.5 is perfect if you can get them right there. And I will take the Commanders at home to beat the Bills. It's a 3-pack.
Okay, so special note to those of you watching at home, that line right now as of today is 6.5 points. It may go down if money comes in at the Commanders. You definitely want to make sure that you're able to catch that at a 6.5 before it goes down if you like that bet. My sure shot is, drum roll please, the Rams at Cincinnati. Thank you so much. Joe Burrow is hurt. It is obvious that Joe Burrow is not playing like the Joe Burrow of old. With Joe Burrow in that kind of condition, he does not want to see Aaron Donald. When Aaron Donald gets there, he's going to put a whooping on him and the rest of those Bengals. It's only 1.5 points, so it's almost like a pick 'em in Vegas, but something's wrong in Cincinnati, and the Rams played tough in their first 2 games. 1 a win, 1 a loss. My sure shot, take those Rams, 1.5 points if you can get it, over the injured Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. And before we close out, we got to go with a group sure shot, and I'm leaning towards what you guys say.
Commanders.
Commanders, plus 6.5 for me, for Mark, for Lois, for the legend Gary Clark. Our sure shot for you, the Washington Commanders, plus 6.5 over the Buffalo Bills at home. That's it for week 3 of the 2023 NFL season. Sure Shot episode 2. As always, never bet more than you can handle. Always bet responsibly. Have a problem? Dial 1-800-GAMBLER. Other than that, we will see you next week till we meet again. Best of luck when you get to the casino.